Arc Raiders is a brand new PvPvE extraction shooter with dozens of quirks and unique mechanics you are going to need to learn. This video is my way to teach you all my best tips and tricks that I learned during the playtest, so you can have a serious head start compared to unprepared raiders. No matter if you played Arc Raiders before or not, these are going to be very helpful to you, and even if some details might change by the time the game releases, the fundamentals won't. And of course, if I forget anything, please share your own tips in the comments. Alright, let's get started! Before you can hop into a raid, you must make a choice: custom loadout or free loadout. Custom lets you bring your own gear, while random gives you random low tier gear that you can't even see until you spawn. And unlike in Tarkov's CAF system, you only ever play the same character, so you keep your stats and you can earn XP no matter which option you choose. Now, if you go with a custom build, make sure to check the durability of your weapon and shield, because if they are almost broken, you need to repair them, and if you cannot afford to, don't bring them. You don't want your gun or your shield becoming useless in the middle of the raid. Bring heals and shield recharges based on the strength of your gear. The better loadout you bring, the more secure you should pack. Don't rely on finding what you need mid-raid. So of course you also need to bring enough ammo as to not run out. And you should also pack a few utility items, and I personally always bring at least one smoke grenade because they are cheap and they can save your life in so many situations. For example, if you need to go through a risky extract or if you need to loot something out in the open. And finally, you should always keep a raider hatch key in your safe pocket. You can simply swap it out if you find more valuable loot, and I will tell you a bit more later what it's used for. Oh, and yes, if you play solo, the game will usually match you against other solo players. During the entire tech test, that was my experience, and since the game will probably have a lot more players next time it becomes available, it should remain like that. Now let's talk about raids. Each raid lasts 30 minutes before the Arbiter wipes the entire map, killing every raider who did not extract. So check the timer the moment you spawn. If it's close to 30 minutes, it's an early spawn. Most raiders are still on the edges of the map, so you can use this to your advantage to either set up an ambush and wait for a raider, or run towards the map center to reach loot and quest objectives first. If there are 25 minutes remaining or less, the outskirts are likely the safest part of the map, as most raiders will have moved towards the center, extracted or died. But keep in mind that raiders who seek safety will be more likely to traverse via the outskirts as to avoid high activity areas, so they are never entirely safe. The second thing to do every time you spawn is to study your map for a few moments. You must always be aware of which extract point closes last, so you won't be on the wrong side of the map when the timer approaches 0. One of the extract points always remains open until the very end, which usually means it's the riskiest, as all the late raiders will need to use it at the same time. Now, if you bring a hatch key, like I advised you earlier, you can extract at any hatch on the map up until the end. Multiple raiders can even enter the same hatch, but it only stays open for 15 seconds, then another key is required. I had to learn this the hard way. Now, on your map, some areas are color-coded. Yellow and red areas are high risk, high reward. They contain great loot and more arc, which in turn attracts raiders. And finally, labels help you find specific loot. Medical areas for syringes and electric areas for wires, for example. Next to the map are your tracked recipes and active quests. These features allow you to know exactly what you need in order to progress towards your current goal, so you never waste a raid forgetting what you even came for in the first place. You can track any upgrade or item receipt in the game, and it will show how many items you have out of the total amount you need, so you know exactly when you can dip out of a raid. The quests tracker shows each required step and highlights completed ones. And something extremely cool in this game is that quests often allow a single teammate to complete a step for everyone in the party that also requires it. And finally, your map also indicates locations called depots. They are for raid-only tasks where you carry a box to the depot for decent loot and XP. And it's especially nice to do on free loadout raids, as you usually don't have much gear. By the way, I will soon have left my full-time job to commit to content creation, so if you find these tips helpful, I will really appreciate your help in the form of subscribing to my YouTube channel and following me on Twitch. The links are below the like button. Thank you very much. Raiders have a stamina bar, this white thing at the bottom of the screen, and it drains when running, vaulting, climbing or dodging, and it regenerates when standing, walking and sliding. Holster your weapon to run faster and conserve stamina. It's also a good thing to do when you want to prove to other raiders that you are peaceful. Sliding downhill is perfect for regenerating your stamina while moving, and you can even heal at the same time, just like in Apex Legends for example. And be sure to never let your stamina bar hit 0 unless you are 100% safe, because you need some to dodge or run away from danger. So if you get caught out in the open and you don't have stamina, you are cooked. To help with this, some consumables instantly restore stamina or boost its regeneration rate. Even in free loadout games, you get XP for looting, dealing damage, completing quests and more, and leveling up grants you a skill point to spend in the skill tree. If you don't know where to spend them, pick stamina upgrades. Other options are good for later, but stamina pays off right from level 1 and it's consistently useful as you are always running, dodging and climbing in every single raid. Now if you want to sneak, you need to watch out for the following alarms indicated by red lights. Cameras that will beep if you get close and in their field of view, metal detectors that beep if you go through them, and cars with alarms that go off if you bump into them. Now you can use your melee weapon on any of these three things to quietly destroy them, which is better than shooting with your loud AR gun, or worse, going through them and making them beep. When you're outside, there are also flocks of birds that will fly off and make noise if you startle them, and obviously when an arc enemy shoots at you or simply detects you, it will make a lot of noise. So my advice is, for any of these things, if you know you are safe and there are no raiders around, do not destroy them and instead go past them, and now they will act as a detection defense for you, because if a raider sneaks up on you, they might get detected by any of these things. Now, unlike in similar games, you can't close containers after looting them to hide your tracks, but you can still close doors so people don't know you are behind, and you will hear it if they open it, so they have a harder time sneaking up behind you. Breaching a door or container is the loudest you can be, but you can also walk, crouch and even crouch walk to be as slow and silent as possible. And to be clear, you cannot go prone in this game, so don't go looking for that in the settings. Yet another thing that's very specific to Arc Raiders is that we have no hit marker system, but you can still get similar info. Damage and knockdowns trigger tiny experience pop-ups after about a second and a half that indicate you did hit your target. Raider shields will make ricochet sound and spark electricity when you hit them, and they will also make a much bigger spark followed by a shutdown sound when they break. When they have no shield left, raiders will have a blood effect instead of any sound. And if you knock a raider out, they will automatically shoot up a raider flare. If it's indoor, it won't do much, but if it's outside, it will go extremely high up in the sky, alerting people around. So whenever you knock a raider, be careful about third parties. Now your melee weapon is always with you, and despite costing a bit of stamina to be used, it's silent, and it's not as bad as you might think. For example, if a flying arc gets close enough to the ground, you can melee it down, and it can also one-hit weak arc like ticks and pops. You can also sneak behind some of the arc and destroy them before they can even react. For example, I like to do it with turrets. And finally, your melee weapon can be surprisingly effective against raiders because nobody expects it really, especially in close quarters. Yet another crucial thing to understand is that in Arc Raiders, you can die even if you have remaining shields. Because just like in CSGO, Valorant or Minecraft, shields or armor only mitigate damage to your health, they don't prevent it, meaning that your health can reach 0 even if you have a fully charged shield. Counter examples are Apex Legends or Fortnite, where shields need to be destroyed first before hitting an enemy's health, because they act as over health. So because of this, if you have low HP, you always need to heal first. Most items like bandages heal slowly and have cooldowns, so use one first, then use a shield recharge, then another bandage, etc. On the other hand, if you have like half your health or more, recharge your shields first, especially if it's high tier, because it will mitigate a lot of damage. And finally, if you are in no immediate danger, always use low tier healing items first to save the good stuff for intense situations where any second counts. Free loadouts give you like 2 bandages and they don't even include shield recharges, so you might run out, and this is true even if you came prepared. But arc enemies sometimes drop arc power cells, which regenerate 2 shield bars. You just need to put them in your quick use inventory and then use them. You can also craft some items during raids in the crafting tab in your inventory. These includes bandages, shield recharges, light grenades and more. Now if you need better stuff, look at your map and go in medical areas where you will find better healing items, of course. Despite your best efforts, you will get knocked at some point, but it doesn't mean you will lose the raid. Players are always downed before they die, even if they are the last one standing in a squad and even if they are alone. Then you have about 2 minutes before you bleed out, so use that time to beg for your life or hide your body to to deny loot from the person who killed you. You can also give up to die faster if you know it's cooked, but don't do it too quickly. You can still call elevators and subways and extract while down, so you should always try to do something, anything, before you give up or get finished. Now if you loot someone and you find guns and gadgets, right click and recycle them. This way the next person to loot that corpse won't get them. It's better to not leave a gun behind that might be used to kill you, you know. So we basically went over the full cycle of a raid, but there is so much more to learn. For example, there are multiple ways to go about extracting at the same time as hostile players. Well, first you can try to entirely avoid fighting, because you have proximity chat, so you can use it to contact any other raider and form alliances. We don't shoot each other, we are friends, we hold hands. Remember, raiders together strong. Now, if an extracting raider is hostile, wait for the last moment and run right through the closing doors. Even if they have time to knock you down while you are inside, they will not have time to finish you before the extraction, so you will get home safely. You can also knock them out to make sure they cannot harm you anymore and then extract with them if you don't want to finish them and give them a chance. Another thing to note is that elevators and subways will only remain open for about 1 minute and then they will close automatically, meaning you will have to call them again. Most arc enemies have weak points, allowing you to take them down more efficiently. For example, drones crash if you destroy 2 same-side thrusters, bastions are weak at the legs and back, etc. And little tip, when you destroy an arc but you lose sight of it, there will be black smoke coming from where it crashed, which will help you locate it. Okay, now let's say you have extracted or died, you will get to see a few screens before you are back to Speranza. First, a timeline of your actions called the journey. Fights, loots, and even the names of raiders you damaged or that damaged you will show here. And I absolutely love it. It's so fun to be able to look back at your raid in that way and know exactly who you fought. The findings screen shows time spent in the raid, the loot you extracted with, as well as its weight and value. And then the next 2 screens are an XP breakdown and your quest progress. Before you jump back into a raid, make sure to claim any quest rewards and start new ones so you never go into a raid without any quest to progress. Then visit Scrappy, your loot gathering rooster, and collect everything. Basically, he gets supplies for you while you are in raids. And if he's full and you go back into a raid, you will miss out on resources. As soon as you start playing Arc Raiders, you should track his upgrades and focus on that, because the higher level he is, the better items he will find for you while you are playing. You can also go check your workbenches to craft ammo, guns, basically everything can be crafted, so make sure to track the recipes you are most interested in. Now, repair your gear, prepare your new loadout, and you are ready to go back topside. I've got plenty more Arc Raiders content coming, so if I helped you out, please help me back. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the video. I also stream on Twitch, so drop by and say hi. Shout out to my channel members, and special shout out to TJ and A1 for being tier 2 and tier 3 members. Thank you for watching, and I will see you topside.